Hi, I'm Miss Hatcher, and I'm here to read Chapter 5 of Finding Langston. I open the door. Why you so late? Daddy asks, his words sharp enough to cut. I was out playing with some boys after school. Well, go wash up for supper, he says. His words are still sharp, but his eyes have a softness I haven't seen since he sat helpless as a baby by Mama's bedside. I keep my hands under the cold water spout. Why didn't I tell Daddy about the library? Why didn't I tell him about the boys at school and the way they poke fun every day? Why didn't I tell him how alone I feel in a city full of people? Same reason I don't tell him how much I miss Mama. Don't seem like Daddy can take any more than he already got. Before we left Alabama, I heard him talking to Grandma. Ain't nothing left for me here, Ma. Leave the boy, Grandma said. Ain't no sense in dragging him long till you're settled. She wouldn't want that, Daddy grunted. You knew when Daddy was finished talking. I was hoping right up till we got on the train that Grandma would come with us. But saying goodbye to Alabama meant saying goodbye to everyone, even Grandma. After we buried Mama, Daddy started selling off what little we had. The bureau, Mama's trunk. Then he started packing. Most of my things I had to leave behind. Take just what you need, Daddy said. Grandma watched us go from the front porch. She squeezed me so tight I thought she'd never let me go. All of a sudden, she looked old and tired. Not the Grandma who worked from sunup till sundown. Mama's death had taken something from her, too. Grandma always said I had the best of my Mama, and now I was leaving. Barely had a chance to talk to Jimmy and Roland. My Sunday pants rode up above my ankles while we walked the miles to the train depot. Mama never got to let them down before she passed. She said I must have grown 3 inches in 1 month, and she just couldn't keep up. Fast as she took out a hem, I grew some more. I stared hard at everything we passed so I could take a picture in my head to remember in case we never came back to Alabama. I dragged my suitcase behind Daddy's long steps. Every time the Daddy slowed to take out his handkerchief and wipe his forehead, I hoped he was going to turn around and head on home. But he just kept walking. And I just kept following. Folks stopped, asked if we wanted a ride, asked if we was heading out of town. Daddy answered, "We're just fine now. Have a good day," and kept on walking. Time we reached the depot, our clothes were soaked through. Everyone always said I looked just like my daddy. Thick arms and middle. Big flat feet. Strong boy. Handsome just like his daddy. Folks been saying since the day I was born. But I never took a liking to the work Daddy did in the fields, or chopping firewood, or toting heavy bundles. The day I must have looked like his shadow trying to keep up behind his fast walking. The pebbles from the holes in the bottom of my shoes pinched every step, but I didn't slow. Figured Daddy was so mad about Mama dying, he'd leave me behind too. Here now with Daddy, that seems like such a long time ago, but I'm glad I took the pictures of Alabama in my head. They're fading like the pictures of Mama, but they're still with me. Daddy calls from down the hall, and I dry my hands on my pants and head into supper. At school the next day, Miss Robbins is barely finished with our lesson when I start watching the clock. Fridays seem like the longest days, counting every minute till the school bell rings at the end of the day. The bell rings at 3 o'clock, but at 2 minutes before, I slip my books quietly into my satchel. Ring! Okay, class, tomorrow, don't forget. I miss the last of what Miss Robbins is saying as I rush toward the door. Halfway down the hall, I hear, "Wait for us, country boy." So I run faster. Down the 2 flights of stairs, out back to the parking lot. I hide between the cars and squeeze through the hole in the fence. I don't slow down till I get to Michigan Avenue. The air feels clearer here, still and fresh. I turn around and there's nothing behind me but sidewalk. I cross the street and walk up the steps of the library.